7 generations after Adam set foot on the newly created earth, before the waters of the flood engulfed the world in purifying fury, there lived a man who defied death itself. His name was Enoch, a direct descendant of Seth, Adam's pious son. The Bible mentions him in cold, enigmatic lines. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Genesis 5:24. But this is only the thin veil over a colossal truth, a hidden saga that makes angels tremble and the heavens fall silent. Hidden in the dusty, forgotten caverns of the Dead Sea in Qumran, yellowed fragments of a forbidden book emerge from the shadows. The Book of Enoch, also called 1 Enoch, preserved in its entirety only by the Ethiopian Church. Banned by the Western Church for centuries, labeled pure heresy at the Council of Laodicea in 364 AD, this text is not a mere mystical fable. It is the first documented account of a celestial invasion, a descent of divine beings, or extraterrestrials, depending on how you read the stars, that changed the destiny of humanity forever. Angels who rebelled as hungry gods, giants who devoured entire nations, visions of cosmic prisons, and the apocalypse prophesied even before Noah built his ark. This is not the story of a forgotten prophet. It is the epic of the first war between heaven and earth, where the divine mingled with the profane, generating monsters and secrets that echo to this day. Prepare your mind, because what follows will shake the foundations of what you think you know about the Bible. In the beginning of time, when creation still smelled of fresh clay and Eden echoed with the song of immaculate birds, the heavens were guarded by perfect sentinels. Called watchers or Grigori in ancient tongues, 200 elite angels were appointed by God to observe humanity from afar, like invisible eyes in the firmament. Their leader was Samyaza, the most radiant, with wings that captured the light of the stars and a voice that could calm storms. They hovered atop Mount Hermon, the sacred mountain on the border between heaven and earth, their ethereal silhouettes etched against the volcanic horizon. From there, they looked down upon the fertile valleys where the daughters of men blossomed like wildflowers, beautiful, vulnerable, pulsating with the vitality of mortal flesh that the immortals secretly envied. A forbidden fire burned in their celestial hearts. "Why merely watch?" murmured Samyaza on a full moon night, his voice echoing like distant thunder. "We who know the mysteries of the spheres, why not descend and share? Why not live as they do, love as they do?" The other angels, mesmerized by the glow of human bonfires and the laughter of women dancing under the stars, swore a solemn pact. Beneath the snowy peak of Hermon, each of the 200 carved their name on an immense stone with their own luminous blood. Samyaza, the chief; Arachiel, master of earthly signs; Ramael, of thunderstorms; Kokabiel, of constellations; Tamiel, of a paradise lost; Ramiel, of broken hopes; Daniel, of judgments; Ezekiel, of clouds; Barakijal, of astrology; Asael, of metals; Amaros, of enchantments; Batarel, of the earth; Ananel, of winds; Zachiel, of storms; Samsapil, of the sun; Satarel, of the moon; Turel, of the hail; Jomjel, of paradise; Sariel, of the new moon. 200 names, 200 traitors. They broke the celestial seals and descended like flaming comets, abandoning their glorious abodes for bodies of flesh, seducing the daughters of men and begetting accursed offspring. But the knowledge they brought was not a gift, it was poison. Azazel, the blacksmith of the heavens, descended to the desert of Dudael and taught humans the art of metallurgy, how to smelt ores into sharp blades, forge impenetrable shields, and create weapons that tore flesh like paper. Once peaceful hunters and shepherds, they became bloodthirsty warriors, entire tribes decimated in battles for gold and power. Armaros revealed spells, and dissolutions, roots that healed or killed, potions that bent minds. Kokabel opened the portals of the stars, teaching astrology to predict eclipses and wars, allowing kings to manipulate destiny with profane horoscopes. Barakijal showed how to observe the heavens, to plant and harvest in perfect cycles, but also to cast curses under evil alignments. Even women learned dark secrets, cosmetics to bewitch gazes, abortifacients to break the sanctity of life in the womb. The balance of creation crumbled, rivers corrupted by black magic, forests withering under spells, the air heavy with idolatrous incense. Stone temples rose where once stood simple earthen altars, and the sacred became a profane spectacle, with false angels crowned as living gods. God, the Creator, watched from his throne, his patience running out like sand in a cosmic hourglass. The world, once a garden, rotted in chaos. And then came the ultimate terror, born from the unnatural union between eternal spirit and fleeting flesh, the Nephilim. Giants of colossal stature, with bones like towers and appetites that devoured armies. Imagine the birth. Mortal women screaming as impossible bellies ripped open, giving birth to babies who grew in months to the size of ancient oak trees, 9 meters tall, 9 cubits wide, eyes red as embers, teeth that crushed bones. Genesis calls them mighty men, men of renown. But Enoch exposes the beast. They consumed all the produce of the earth, entire flocks in a single meal, entire forests in days of ravenous famine. When resources ran out, the Nephilim turned against their own human heritage. Entire villages crushed under thundering feet, mothers devoured before their children, rivers stained red by endless massacres. The cry of oppressed humanity rose to the heavens like a hurricane of pain. Lord of hosts, see the horror you have allowed. Save us from these devourers. The Watchers, now fallen kings, laughed from their thrones of skulls, but the Creator could no longer ignore it. He chose Enoch, the only righteous man in a generation of monsters, the 7th of the righteous since Adam, a humble shepherd whose days were spent in prayer beneath the stars. Enoch, son of light, thundered the divine voice, ascend Mount Hermon, confront the rebels, proclaim my sentence. And so, a lone mortal climbed the icy slopes, the wind howling like lost souls, to the peak where the 200 awaited in diminished glory. Samyaza, still majestic, pleaded, Enoch, man of God, intercede for us. We have sinned, but we have loved. But Enoch, seized by a celestial vision, raised his voice. Hear the sentence of the Most High. Samyaza and your companions will be chained for 70 generations in the ditches of the earth until the day of the great judgment. Azazel will be cast into the desert of Dudael, covered with thorns and darkness, until the eternal fire. Your Nephilim children will destroy one another, and their spirits will wander like demons, afflicting human flesh until the end of time. The angels fell to their knees, the sky darkening in mourning. But Enoch did not stop there. He did not experience the common death of dust to dust. Angels lifted him in chariots of fire, wheels within wheels, filled with living eyes, cherub wings beating like thunder, propelling him through dimensional portals that tore the veil of reality. He ascended beyond the clouds, beyond the fixed stars, to the very ends of the cosmos. He saw the 7 mountains of precious stones at the end of the earth, gold, silver, iron, copper, tin, lead, and electrum, guarded by furious winds, rivers flowing with milk, honey, oil, and wine, trees whose leaves whispered eternal hymns. In the heart of heaven, the crystal palace of the great glory, with sapphire thrones where the Ancient of Days presided, his robe white as infinite snow, eyes like devouring flames. There Enoch saw the Son of Man, chosen before the foundation of the world, crowned with authority over nations. But the spectacle of judgment prisons in the lower abysses, rebellious stars chained for 10,000 years, evil winds sealed in caverns of black rock, rivers of fire prepared for the day of wrath. Uriel, the archangel of light, guided him. See the ends of the earth, where the gates of heaven open to the sun, moon, and stars. Enoch measured the firmament with a cord of divine linen, calculating celestial cycles that the watchers had perverted. God commanded, "Enoch, my scribe, engrave everything on tablets of eternal stone. Record the laws of the stars, the names of sinners, the vision of the end." And so he became the chronicler of the heavens, witnessing the book of life, where the names of the righteous shone like diamonds. Back on earth, Enoch descended laden with visions that shook patriarchs and kings. He named the 7 holy archangels, Uriel over the world and Tartarus, Raphael who heals and binds Azazel, Raguel, avenger of the enlightened, Michael, prince of armies, Sariel over rebellious spirits, Gabriel, destroyer of nations, Phanuel, fire of glory before the throne. He revealed the secrets of the heavens. The sun travels through 12 portals, the moon through 18, stars in harmony until the watchers interfere. The spirits of the giants killed in the flood, they did not perish. They became Shadim, incorporeal demons, 36 legionary chiefs who cause famine, plagues, droughts, and carnal temptations. The same ones who whisper in our ears today. Enoch prophesied the apocalypse. At the end of times, gates will open, the watchers will be released for a short reign of terror, false messiahs will raise armies of dark giants. But the Son of Man will come in clouds of glory, with 10,000 saints, judging the living and the dead. Heavens rolled up like scrolls, mountains melted like wax, a new earth without sea or tears. The righteous will inhabit eternal gardens, the wicked in the lake of sulfur. He warned Noah directly, "Son of Lamech, keep this sealed book. Survive the waters, for judgment is repeated." Why then was the Book of Enoch banned, forgotten in the dust for millennia, quoted as scripture by Jude and Peter in the New Testament, but suppressed by the church fathers? Too fantastic, too dangerous, they said. It reveals origins that defy dogma, angels as interdimensional beings, Nephilim as genetic hybrids whose giant bones are still excavated in ancient mounds. Mount Hermon exists today, a strategic peak with reports of UFOs and unexplained lights. Sumerian texts speak of the Anunnaki descending to create humans through mining and engineering. Enoch, the first biblical astronaut, traveling in a fiery Merkabah. Archaeologists in 1947 unearthed the Dead Sea Scrolls, including 11 fragments of Enoch in Aramaic. Ethiopia has held the complete text since the 4th century. The truth escapes the shadows, raising the question, what if this is not myth, but coded history? Enoch did not die. He lives in the heavens, an eternal scribe, awaiting the final call. The watchers groan in prisons of black crystal, counting grains up to 10,000 years. Their demonic children prowl, testing faith. The veil between heaven and hell is as thin as parchment. This is the forbidden saga. Real, visionary, terrifying. Fallen angels or star invaders, devouring giants or genetic relics. Was the flood local or global? You decide, but the mystery pulses alive. The heavens touch the earth again. Hear the call. The end times are approaching.